Okay, fam. Happy weekend. Yesterday I celebrated my last Friday at work for quite some time. If you haven't been keeping up, I'm getting ready to take off to Southeast Asia again. Um, and so it was an excellent, excellent last day at work to be able to not contemplate going back to work again for roughly about 80 days and knowing it's not injury or layoff or anything like that. I'm just going to go screw off for a couple of months. So, understandably, I get a lot of questions. I'm planning on doing another video to cover just a touch of the budgeting issues, because that's important, of course. But the luggage is a thing, too. My plan this year is to spend basically 2.5 months riding around on a motorcycle over there. So I have to pack small, and being that this is such a warm weather country too, it's not like you really need to bring your big Minnesota jackets or scarves when traveling in Thailand. Um, but I just wanted to outline what I'm thinking is probably necessary for one person to spend 2 months in Thailand, just off of what's in your saddlebags. So here's what we got. I got 6 pairs of drawers, 6 pairs of socks. One of the only complaints I've had in Thailand, you can pretty much buy anything you want. The only couple of rare things I've run into, one of them being good quality cotton socks. So after 2 months on the road, a couple of pairs of socks start falling apart and you need to go to the store and get some new ones. Everything over there is nylon, athletic sock type of material, dress socks like that. No good wicking qualities. I was disappointed. And so anyway, so this time I planned ahead and just brought a brand new bag of socks just for the trip. I know, I'm a dork. I'm bringing along 3 pairs of long pants. These are very light linen trousers. They pack small. They're modest enough that you're not going to offend people at a temple. That's something to be aware of even for men, although it's primarily for ladies. If you're a woman planning on traveling to Thailand, you'll need to carry a shawl or something to cover your shoulders if you're tending to wear tank tops and things. Also, they don't really want to see your knees, so thus the long pants. With men, you can get away with t-shirts. I've got 4 of them packed. That should be enough. I threw in a vest. You want to bring along a couple of other things, like a dress shirt is a good choice. I've got one slightly fancy outfit that I'm debating whether or not I'm going to bring. No real purpose for it unless I end up going out to a party, but you never know. I might go out to a Thai party. You're going to need a light jacket, like a windbreaker, a rain jacket, preferably a breathable rain jacket, because with the rain comes the humidity. So you've got to think accordingly. You're not going to want your plastic, cheapy Walmart slicker in Thailand. Pair of swim trunks. Although there's a lot of good adventuring you can do in Thailand that is actually inland, there's still waterfalls all over the place, and I'm personally planning on spending a lot of time both scuba diving and snorkeling. So I'm bringing along a pair of trunks that are small enough to work well under a wetsuit. If you've never thought about this before, the California knee-length jams aren't that much fun when you're trying to stuff it all into a snug wetsuit so you can go down to 30 meters or whatever and still stay warm. You'll need your toiletries. Pretty much all of that is available over there. You don't have to bring anything you have in a large container unless you're brand specific. I pack such a large bag because it bothers me when I have to buy that many Q-tips when I only need that many Q-tips. So I brought along my Q-tips, my nail trimmers, my comb, spare razors for my razor blades, and of course some fresh batch of mustache wax, not exactly available in Southeast Asia. You'll need a pair of flip-flops, something for wet country when it rains or when you just don't care about your feet. If you're at the pool or at the beach, you don't need to wear a pair of hiking boots. I'm planning on, as I mentioned, spending a lot of time on the back of a motorcycle, so I travel with a pair of above the ankle hiking boots. It's also fantastic when you're clomping around in the jungle. The flip-flops are really good for what they're good for, and you try and stretch that as far as you can, but you go over the edge at your own risk, and then you lose a toe or twist an ankle and spend the rest of your vacation with a twisted ankle. You don't need to bring a towel. I pack a towel. We'll get into that a little more in a minute. I plan on doing quite a bit of swimming. I'm exploring the coastline specifically, trying to check out a couple of small towns southeast of Bangkok down the Bay of Siam. So I'm planning on being able to jump into waterfalls and the ocean whenever the mood strikes. There's some hot springs as well I might make it out to. So having a towel on hand is a good thing for that. But rest assured, every hotel will be well stocked, even the cheap ones that I tend to travel in. I'm also carrying my version of a fanny pack. I've got a festival belt. Some of you might be familiar with such things. It's just something that's got good solid pockets on it with a flap that, my wallet fits tightly in with a latch on it so you're safe from pickpockets. And so that you're safe, so that your stuff doesn't fall out if you're in a tuk-tuk going across downtown Bangkok and you're fully reclined if you've never ridden in a tuk-tuk, especially if you're a tall drink of water like myself. Pockets are not made for you to be at an inclined angle. So think about that. You don't want to lose your wallet full of traveler's checks or, anything like that. And then in just a second, I'll pack this all into my saddlebags and I will show you the second portion. Everything you see fits into one of these two saddlebags. This is a basic throwover set. These are great for traveling. If you're going to be renting scooters, if you're going to be hopping between destinations, these are nice. You can throw them over your shoulder. You can carry them underneath one hand with a handle combination on it. They're waterproof-ish. They've actually got stretch over, water shield, backpack cover type of things if you're really going to be out in the rainy season. When I'm there, it's not that much of a concern. We actually generally wish it would rain a little more that time of year. But all of these goods go into one bag here, and then in a second I'll show you what's going into the other one. Okay, part two. Just to get you started, as you guys know, I'm trying to do a little more social media posting and whatever. I don't expect to actually monetize, but I would love to inspire a couple of you guys to come out and join me in paradise. So I'm bringing along all this crap right here. We've got a multi-port charger with an assortment of different USB-B and USB-C cords so I can keep all my stuff charged up, from GoPros and gimbals and remotes and remote batteries. And I've got a couple of spare camera housings for different sorts of things. If you want to do lens flare, if you want to have colored filters to help deal with fluorescent lighting, you need something that'll accept different lenses. I've got a dive housing. The GoPro, of course, comes waterproof, but not at certain depths. If I remember right, it's 30 meters. Anyway, it's a significant investment, and I like to keep track of my stuff, and so I got this guy with a fully contained polycarbonate dive housing and a floaty bit to keep it from sinking all the way to the bottom if I happen to drop it when I get bit by a barracuda or something. Who knows? Underneath the water too, a light is a good idea. This particular one is for shooting underwater. If you don't know, water tends to filter out portions of the spectrum, causing it to appear usually blue underneath the water. So this adds some red back into it to make things appear a little more natural. I've got an assortment of different clips and clamps. I've got a suction cup so I can, if I do end up in a car, God forbid, I can at least provide us with some evidence. I've got some wired mics. That's one of the things I'm experimenting more with. Trying to get good audio in the house is easy, but when you're out in the field and there happens to be some wind or something like that, it's been a problem. So I'm playing around with the various foamy options and remote mic options. All of this stuff fits into the kitway bag right here in the front. That's the camera bag that holds my gimbal. I'm going to be premiering my new 3-axis electronic gimbal should provide a little better image stabilization when I'm out walking around. A lot of the footage I ended up shooting last year wasn't particularly usable because of the shakiness. And I probably should just cut back on my coffee, but we decided to buy a gimbal instead. Going along with that's going to be the battery charger. If you don't have an external battery and you're planning on traveling, you need to get one of these. If you're traveling internationally, it's worth being aware too that many countries will take away your charger when you pass through the airport if it doesn't have the milliamperage rating marked on it. I found this out the hard way last year when the Chinese took away my other charger, and so I got this one. Fortunately, that's got a nice clear label on it. I'm traveling with my laptop because I'm trying to edit some footage. You need to clear off your cameras and stuff. This particular one is not the cheapest and it's not the smallest, lightest, but it definitely is the most rugged laptop. This is a Panasonic Toughbook. This is the same thing that the police and the military use. I can pretty much pound nails with this guy right here. So, good piece of equipment. As I mentioned, I'm planning on spending a lot of time in the water. So, another toy I picked up this year, set of swim fins. You can of course get dive gear all over the place, and when I'm scuba diving, I'm going to be renting my gear. But I wanted to be able to hop in the ocean a couple of times last year. I just saw beautiful beaches. I would love to go and explore a little more, and something like this helps out quite a bit. Snorkel is good. Not only does it prevent you from essentially French kissing a stranger, not that I'm against that, but if you buy a good quality snorkel, the rubber is softer on your mouth, so it's more comfortable. There's variations in the types of valve systems, both keeping waves from coming down your snorkel and also as far as the blowout system for any water that does end up in there. So I picked up one of those, but the main reason I went to the dive store at all, that I got lured into the dive store, was because of these guys, a nice set of goggles. You'll of course be able to get goggles any place. There are plenty of goggles, but one of the things I discovered, when you're snorkeling it isn't an issue, but when you're scuba diving and you're down at depth, the weight of the water presses against the lens, and so it ends up pressing firmly against your face. If you don't have a good fit to your mask, as I didn't last year, you end up, in my case, with the bridge of the goggles firmly pressed into your forehead for most of your dive. So I decided to spend a couple of bucks and pick up a couple of toys. Hopefully I get some mileage out of them this year. And now most of this stuff is all just going to fit into my backpack. I tend to not like to leave expensive electronics sitting on the back of my motorcycle or whatever. I'll leave it in a hotel room. But if I need to go and use the bathroom or something, my backpack goes with me. I'll leave my saddlebags out because if somebody steals my toiletries, I'll certainly survive. But the things that, like, for instance, this guy right here, this is my trip binder. This includes boarding passes, booking information printed out in hard copy. I've got a calendar with various personal information about when I'm meeting different people along my adventure. If you're going to try and plan something big, you're probably going to need something like this. And mine also includes a couple of special extras, that's why it's so large. I'm learning Thai. And many of you know that. It's been about 2 years now. I still speak like a child, but I'm getting better. And so I've got a huge collection of flashcards and my textbook too from the teacher I was using last year. And then a couple other things like, of course, the international driving permit. In order to be able to operate a vehicle without getting fined, you need to get one of these. My immunizations and various shots, proof for traveling between countries. Some international borders apparently like to see that. And of course the dive log. When you're doing scuba diving, you keep track of where you dive, when you dive, things like that. So both for safety and just for personal reference, I think, as much as anything. And so all of these goodies go into my backpack. At least when I'm on the road between destinations. The swim fins and stuff, I'm trying a new idea this year. I got this guy. This is a pack-safe 120-liter mesh bag, stainless steel cable. it locks up to, well, in my case, it's going to lock up to my motorcycle, and it's going to hopefully keep my swim fins from wandering away. And, you know, if I go out to go swimming, that's going to be what's protecting my laptop or whatever. If I see a pretty beach that I just can't help myself, I want to be able to dive in and commit myself to the adventure. But I'm also a cautious enough traveler where I'm not comfortable leaving my laptop sitting on top of my motorcycle by the side of the road while I go out swimming in the ocean. So trying to balance the risk adventure thing, you know, I know Mom's going to be happy about that. So anyway, yeah, this is pretty much my adventure packing supplies, and I'll do another one tomorrow, hopefully about the budgeting, and more videos to come. Thanks for coming along, guys.